We had a good weekend, though, right?
I don't know.
I feel like we were able to kind of downregulate over the weekend.
I didn't do much.
Did you downregulate? I mean, when we're not go, we had a really fun dinner with the Brickners on Friday night. We went to table 33, which was delicious. Best gnocchi I've ever had.
Best what?
Gnocchi.
How do you say it?
Donkey. And then we went to the dessert room where they
That was dumb.
What?
Are you kidding me right now?
That was so fun.
They bring you a big tray of snacks.
Treats,
everything,
sugar snacks.
Potato chips.
Oh, that's true. Salty snacks
to
too.
Twizzler cookies to, I mean, it was a big plate of trash.
Also, dates and figs and strawberries. Those weren't trash.
And then the little gal comes up with little tiny pitchers full of melted chocolate and caramels.
Yes.
And she pours them out on the table, and then you...
Silicone covered table.
Right, but you grab one of these...
Dippers.
Trashy snacks and drag it through these chocolate things, and then you eat it.
It was delightful.
I mean, you talk about dysregulation. Holy moly.
Well, we had...
And then you put coffee on top of it. No. It was something.
It was something, but it was a fun something.
It was a
unique
an experience.
Yes.
That's right. Everybody should go to, we should have them on, these people. We keep pumping everybody up.
The dessert room.
Yeah.
And so you have your dinner at table 33, and then after your dinner is over, they've held your table.
You go to the dessert room.
And they
Normally one must go to the dessert room for such punishment.
They walk you over there. It's a very special experience. And it was Ian, and Ian was our server. You can request him. He did an excellent job. And then Daisy was our little gal in the dessert room.
Yep.
She was so sweet.
Yep.
Yeah, that was super fun. Yeah. Anything else stand out to you for the weekend? Did you spend any time in your camper?
A little bit. A little bit. I had to write the foreword for somebody's book.
Yes,
and
that
so
was
I got
wonderful.
to finish reading the book and write nice things.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe we have Joe on. Joe he's written several books.
Is he in town?
He's in Cincinnati.
Oh, that would be fun.
He'd come up.
Yeah. You want to come up, Joe?
We call him Woody. I don't know why his nickname is Woody.
Oh, okay.
Joe Shepard.
Got it. Yeah.
Chiropractic extraordinaire fellow.
Yeah. So I spent most of the weekend annoyed.
Yes. I was
about
involved.
Everything and everybody.
Yeah. But you're always so sweet, though. Nobody would ever know you were annoyed.
It was hard not to. I finally ended up having to make a list of all the things that were annoying me. And because it felt like everything was annoying me, but it was really only 10 things.
Guess who was at the top?
No, you weren't. You were just part of the mix.
I was just the recipient
You were
of your annoyedness.
No, I was annoyed with you too. And I'm sorry.
Don't
So
be.
what I did was I scheduled myself a body code session, and we can talk about that as we get into this. But I also got a couple of new health tools over the weekend. And one of those is a hair serum. And I get a lot of requests for information about that. So I was excited to try that out the other night, which I loved. And then also some homeopathic cell salts, which I had opened up all over the counter.
Yep.
And but one of those is to reverse graying hair.
Okay.
And so you declined.
I don't want my hair reversed.
I know you.
I just want to leave it where it's at. I don't care what color it is as long as it comes in.
I know. So I had, because I'm going to do a hair analysis, where they check for metals in your hair and minerals, all of the things. So I had...
Hair tells a big part of the story.
It does. So I had
hair
Brenda...
and stools tell a big part of the story. It's true.
So I had her leave some of my hair.
It's natural color.
It's natural color. So I'm going to because you can only send in uncolored hair for these analysis. So I'm like, well, I need to, grow this out. And so it'll be interesting. She's like, I'm not going to put it down low. I'm going to put it in the middle so that we can grab it. But I was thinking I might just go ahead and leave it. No, because I'm cutting that part out. Because I was thinking that would be a good way for me to see.
Not the boss of that.
I know. Okay. Yeah. So those were just a couple of fun things.
Should we get ready for another exciting episode?
Get ready for that.
Past the fire, past the sounds.
Here we go. Welcome to another exciting episode of Living Well Together.
Big life in a small town.
It is a big life.
It is a big life. What?
Well, it can be really annoying.
Only if you're me.
Life.
And everything, yeah.
Big life in a small town.
But the world tries to make you annoyed too. I mean,
the world is hardwired for annoyance.
Mm-hmm. So
we've talked about this
a lot of
more
times.
Than once.
It's true. This is kind of another spin on it, though.
Okay.
But this is about mental fitness in a very loud world, and we're all overstimulated, right?
I don't know.
Do you feel like we are?
You mean as a society, as a culture?
Yes, because we have so much.
If you have a television and or a computer connected to the internet, or a phone, any kind of device, you are going to be prompted into
all of that
stress.
Yeah. And mental fitness isn't about being calm all the time.
No.
It's about your recovery speed and about your resilience, because we all have to figure out how to deal with that. And there's some things that we can do individually, and there's some things that we can do outside of us to help us to regulate faster and better.
Do you think that people are getting naturally weaker?
Yes, I do.
Really?
Yes, don't you?
You mean mentally, physically, or both?
I think both.
Spiritually?
Spiritually, yes.
Weaker?
I do. I think that people are having a much harder time recovering from episodes of stress.
Okay.
And
because our government is like now interacting with other governments around the world in a Middle Eastern
that's part of it.
Spat.
So that's a whole other
in that.
thing. And people that tend to want to leave the TV on all the time, they're getting fed that constantly. And we've talked about this before too.
Well, I'm not watching it. I just have it on in the background.
Oh my gosh, it goes straight into the subconscious. Yeah.
It's horrible. So we're going to talk about some solution-oriented things eventually.
Yeah.
It's really easy to point out the problems. It's not always easy to say, well, here's what you do about it.
Yeah, that's right. But we are right now just completely wired for stress, and we're not wired, and we also are wired for recovery, but we just don't tap into that recovery as well as we can.
All right.
Mostly because people don't know that there's these tools that can help.
Half the time they don't know they're stressed. They just know they're living hard and they're struggling and they don't understand why.
Right. Exhausted when they wake up, even if they feel like they slept all night, or maybe they're not sleeping at all. Or
having a hard time getting to sleep or a hard time staying asleep. And that's everybody periodically. That's not weird.
Yeah.
But it does indicate that your physiology is kind of stuck on loud.
Yeah. So it's not trauma level stress. It's not like that we are traumatized and that becomes stressful. It's more just this constant buzz.
I am going to respectfully disagree.
Okay, tell me.
Because it is
more.
physical. If you watch rockets landing that explodes buildings, and then you hear the story of, you're visually seeing stressful things.
True. Okay.
And then you get the feedback on it that
Mm-hmm.
says 150 children were bombed in a school accidentally.
Yeah.
But when your brain, this is something in the movies that they call the willful suspension of disbelief.
Oh, okay.
So when you see
Sounds
a scary
so official.
movie, it's a real thing. So when you see, like in an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, when buildings are blowing up and rockets are being launched, but you're at the movies, you've paid for this experience.
Entertainment.
You're paying to be, just traumatized, but they call it entertainment.
Yeah.
And your subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between fact and fiction. Your subconscious brain sees the building blow up, it hears the screams, it sees the blood, or whatever the situation will be.
Yeah.
And that's why it's a scary movie, or that's why you get goosebumps. That's why you get a pit in your stomach. That's why you break into a sweat. So your subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between fact and fiction. But that's why scary movies are scary. And then Hollywood will say, it's just a movie.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? Your brain doesn't know that. It goes into fight or flight mode automatically. You don't ask it to. It's an automatic response to what you're experiencing. So when we intentionally experience traumatic visual,
or
auditory,
a scary movie too.
Yeah, all of it. Your subconscious mind absorbs it, and it is now built right into your cells, and your body is forced to a reaction that it would not otherwise be forced to.
Right.
In other words, these are tragic things that you're seeing in the news, and they are real, probably. Although, have you seen that movie called? There's a movie called Wag the Dog.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I can't remember what year, probably in the 90s, where they created a war on the television. It wasn't even real.
Oh, wow.
But the powers that be
Yes, that's
created
right. I forgot
visuals
about
and
that.
craziness and led the American public to believe something was going on that wasn't actually going on. But everybody started behaving as though it is actually going on.
Yeah.
And so it implies the government may not always be telling the truth, which is true. It implies
only
that
know
what you
so
see and
much.
what you get don't always match. But your physiology naturally by design doesn't know that is fiction. And so we start adopting it as physiological truth.
Yeah.
It's terrifying.
So what does dysregulation actually feel like?
Well, dysregulation is when it gets stuck in that mode.
Yeah.
So in other words, if there was a tiger chasing you, it would be smart. You wouldn't have to ask your heart rate to go up. You wouldn't have to ask your digestion to be suppressed. You wouldn't have to ask your immune system into suppression. These are automatic things that come from a proper regulation in a stressful situation. And they are meant to get us to safety.
Right.
Again, whether if it's a bear chasing you through the woods, your body is programmed to survive. And so all of the things of autonomic stress, or in that case, sympathetic dominance, are built for survival. They're meant to be short term. They are
So
not.
that would be considered a structural layer?
Well, it becomes structural, but it also starts out as visual.
Yeah. Foggy brain?
There's a million things, all of which are appropriate.
Right. Yes.
It's not a dumb response. It is your body's safeguard to say, let's get to safety.
Let's get safe. Because that's
But
what
it's not meant to be a lifestyle.
Yeah.
It's meant to be short-term re-regulation. If it gets stuck, like a record in a skip, or like a CD in a skip, or like a TV that's stuck in a loop. Yes. It's a loop that becomes feedback and it's all catabolic. In other words, it's a breakdown mode.
Yes.
Anabolic things build up, catabolic things break down.
Yeah.
Everything about sympathetic dominance is catabolic. It is designed for breakdown because it's not intended to be perpetual. It's intended to be temporary.
Yeah.
And then the body goes into parasympathetic mode when I get to safety, when the bear has gone away, and I can get my breath back and my heart rate goes back down. That's called parasympathetic stimulation. That's where we talked about vagus nerve.
Which
previously.
I think we might touch on that again just briefly here too.
But it's all part and parcel of normal regulation.
Yeah.
So dysregulation by definition would be being stuck in that feedback loop.
Yes.
That's catabolic or breakdown mode.
Yeah. And I like that visual of, for anybody that ever played a vinyl record, like you would have a skip and it would just keep going. Yeah. It's like a glitch in your system.
Until you bump the record player or the CD player, or until you move the TV antenna so that the picture clears up again. Or until you get back where your cell phone has all 4 bars instead of choppy signal.
So is that a weakness?
What?
Is the way our body responds a weakness, or is it just pure physiology?
It's pure physiology, but it's built for success.
Yeah.
The body is always working to succeed.
Yeah.
The purpose of the brain and the nerve system is to take in information through your sight, your sound, your taste, your touch, and your smell, and then create changes in your physiology designed for preservation.
So where does the brainstem come in?
The stem of the brain is where lots of things are controlled. So breathing is controlled in the stem of the brain. Postural tone is controlled in the stem of the brain.
What does that mean?
Postural musculature, that's where you get tense. But dysregulation means you're stuck in that tension, and it's usually unilateral. So when you see a person stuck in autonomic dysregulation, they're probably going to have one shoulder look higher. When they stand just in your natural posture, you'll see a shoulder that looks taller on one side.
Okay.
You girls will know this maybe as a bra strap that you got to tighten up on one side because you get stuck.
Yeah.
You'll see one hip look higher than the other hip. When you lay down, you'll see one leg appear to be shorter than the other leg because those are signals that are now stuck in a jam, and the body posture of a person feels that jam structurally.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's a structural thing, but it can be set off by vision. It can be set off by what you hear. It can be set off by what you smell or taste. It can be set off by anything that elicits a physiological stress response in the body. But it's why scary movies are scary. So dysregulation just occurs when it gets stuck there.
Yeah.
When you get away from what's scary, all that stuff should find its way home again. You settle back down. Your heart rate settles, your gut settles, your immune system comes back on. And that is called proper regulation.
Right. Okay.
Dysregulation occurs when it's stuck in a loop.
And you see this every day. Like you're working with people all the time that are stuck in sympathetic dominance.
Nobody calls me and says, hey, I feel really good. Can you help? Everybody calls with a list of things And so the stem of the brain is where we started with that. You mentioned the brain stem. The brain stem is housed in the top of the spine.
Right.
So kind of right underneath your earlobes, you'll feel those little knobs. That little knob is the bottom of your head, the base of your skull. The next little set of knobs is the very first vertebra, the very first bone in the spine. It's called the atlas.
Okay.
Because it holds up, remember Greek mythology, the atlas was holding up the world.
Right,
the
exactly.
So the first bone in the neck holds up the globe called your skull.
Okay.
So there's a big hole in the bottom of your head, and it has to line up with the big hole in the top of your spine. When those holes don't line up, the stem of the brain is what takes the squeeze.
It's squished?
Well, it's twisted, it's squished. The tissue that wraps around it, meningeal tissue, everybody's heard of meninges or meningitis.
Right.
Well, the meninges are the tissue that wrap the inside of the skull. They also wrap the covering around the brain. And then between those two layers of wrap is where cerebrospinal fluid and lymphatic things and vascular things go. And that bathes the brain and flushes it and nourishes it, brings oxygen and nutrients and so forth. But when those holes don't line up, the flow of fluid in and around the skull
does it get stuck?
Choked.
Okay, yeah.
Think of it like stuffing a cork in a wine bottle.
Yeah.
If it's in straight, you stop the flow of fluid. If it's in kind of at an angle, fluid can leak or come and go. So you're getting fluid, you're just not getting it in a proper flow.
Yeah.
So every time your heart beats, it should be pumping fluid around your brain.
Yeah.
Boom, boom,
Yeah.
boom. And that's what brings it oxygen and nutrients and takes away cellular debris or breakdown. And so, again, the stem of the brain is kind of a big deal because it lives in that atlas. It lives at C1 and C2, the first two bones in the top of the neck and the bottom of the skull are what house the stem of the brain. So when the head and neck are damaged and the bones are now misaligned or stuck in a misaligned place, it starts changing the relay of information to and from the brain, both electronically.
Whether or not you've had an actual accident, though.
No, there's usually going to be there has to be trauma for the bones to misalign. There has to be injury.
So this could be an old injury and then they throw some stress on top of that creates that emotional response. I mean, can emotional stress create a physical response? I
100%.
Yeah.
And that's kind of a chicken or the egg thing. Was the misaligned spine in the place? And then, because that change of the relay of information changes what you perceive. Which consequently changes how you respond to what you perceive.
Yeah.
Which consequently results in more of that fight or flight based physiology. That is dysregulation and dysautonomia. And so all day, every day, all we do is line the holes back up.
So that's why you only adjust.
Well, it's why we focus on the upper cervical spine.
Yeah.
We're going to move the whole spine.
Right.
We're just going to use the upper portion of the spine to do it.
Because that is because of the brainstem being there? Or?
Because the stem of the brain is where postural regulation is governed.
Okay.
So when there's distortion at the top of the spine, there is distortion in the signals that govern posture. And then my hips aren't balanced, my shoulders aren't balanced, my posture is not balanced. And then it starts to break down. That's a 12-pound skull.
Right.
So in a gravity-based world, that 12-pound head that's no longer on center begins to just be crushing. The body gets crushed underneath the weight of 12 pounds all day.
Yeah.
If we can realign it and take that structural stress away, then the body can say, hey, thanks, in a gravity-based world. If we lived on the moon, this would count way less.
Yeah.
But in a gravity-based world, it matters a lot. And then, because that's where hip pain and spine pain and knee pain and hip pain, when you leave a body framework stuck in a twist, the whole structure begins to break down underneath the weight of a misaligned skull.
Yeah.
So the whole focus of upper cervical spinal care is going to be to correct it, to normalize the relationships of the structures so that you can normalize the relationships of signals to and from the brain,
Right.
and normalize the flow of fluid in and out of the skull, which bathe the brain.
So one of the things that I love about the type of adjusting that you do is that it's not one size fits all. Every patient is different.
Every misalignment is different.
Every misalignment is different.
And consequently, so are the repercussions. If I put my misalignment in your spine, you would have a different experience.
Right, exactly.
But the reality is it changes the experience 10 times out of 10. So if you sat out in the front room all day and just listened to people say, here's what's better.
Yeah.
Heart rate, pulse rate, cardiac stuff, gut, digestive, metabolic stuff.
What about how they feel? I mean, I think so many people are tuned in not so much to those numbers. Actually, that's not true because they all wear devices. So they all know what their body's doing from an Aura ring or Heat
wearables
Watch
are
or the
giving you
wearables.
some pretty good feedback.
And so it's giving you feedback. So they could probably see a difference in that. But what about emotionally? How, after they're adjusted?
Well, what generates emotion? Where does emotion, how's that managed? I'm looking for an answer that's hormones.
Oh, okay.
So chemicals govern
chemicals.
mood. Serotonin, and that's why SSRI, serotonin reuptake inhibitors like Prozac or Wellbutrin or
There's so many,
some of the other
and so many
popular
people
ones. There's a bunch of them.
Yeah.
And they're all designed to stimulate the production of serotonin.
Okay.
Because when you're under stress, if there was a bear chasing you,
Right.
you have enough serotonin,
Okay.
but you're genetically programmed not to absorb it when there's a bear chasing you. In other words, you don't need to be you don't need to be emotional when there's a stressful thing.
I get it. Okay.
Right?
So that stops.
But that's going to be a result in either some form of anxiety and or some form of depression or some roller coaster between the two.
Yeah.
Because now my hormones are no longer balanced, which means my adrenal chemistry can't be balanced, which means my gut function is going to be modified. And then your sex hormones are also going to have to respond accordingly.
Right.
Like sex would be a low priority if there's a bear chasing you, right? So I'm down regulating certain things. I'm up regulating certain other things.
Yeah.
And the result is this disharmony that results in poor sleep and all the symptoms and all the craziness. And our solution for that traditionally is to throw chemistry at it.
Right.
My stomach is producing too much or too little stomach acid. Well, there's a pill for that.
Exactly.
My muscles ache and my joints are locked. Well, there are pills for that. My blood sugar's goofed up, right? Because my blood sugar is going to be super high because in a stressful situation, I am running or fighting. That's why they call it fight or flight. And so my pancreas is involved, my liver is involved, because those are all things that say this is a dangerous situation. I need more sugar. My muscles need sugar to fight or run.
Yeah.
So now that dysregulation has spread through the hormone system as well.
Right. So because of the excess stress in the world, do you think that regardless of accident or injury, that everybody would benefit from an upper cervical adjustment, or
in that regard, the short answer, I suppose, is yes. But not that everybody needs care. Everybody should be checked.
Yeah.
Like, does everybody who has teeth need to go to the dentist?
I think so. My answer to that is yes.
Well, only 53% of the American population has a dentist. So just because we know it's a good idea doesn't mean everybody's going to follow through.
I just feel like it's something that's so, like, I know to us it feels simple, but I don't think that the majority of the people that are dealing with this kind of stress level understand how important this could be to their lifestyle.
Oh, I'm sure that they don't understand that.
Yeah.
They're trained to not understand that. The other thing about your television
Drug ads.
is that it gives you a really nice opportunity to be programmed. That's why they call it programming.
Programming,
Right?
yes.
And so, but commercials are engineered for sales, and sales are engineered for profit, and profit is engineered for corporations. And so there is kind of a certain feedback loop there as well. But when you watch those commercials, they will show you visually something beautiful.
Right.
It might be
But they're talking in the background.
Right. But they also know from a marketing and advertising standpoint, they know that the overwhelming majority of what you retain is based on what you see.
Yeah.
Not what you hear.
Right.
So probably
So that
74, I
emotional part of
think,
it,
is 74% of what we retain is visual. 13 or 14% is what we hear, which is why, when you watch those commercials, they're beautiful. They'll show you a happy family or a guy who's playing paddleball again or whatever. But when you hear what's going on, they'll say, may cause gas, bleeding, early discharge, and the inability to control your bowel movement, and in some cases, death. And people will be like, well, gosh, he looks so happy on the commercial, though. And they'll call them side effects.
I know.
But if you're having them, it's not a side effect.
Right.
It is the effect.
Is the thing.
And part of that is because people are different.
Yeah.
Some people respond to those chemicals one way. And I'm not even saying the chemicals are bad. I'm just saying nobody gets unwell because they're low on prescribed medication.
Right.
Sometimes those medications will save your life. They can be absolutely
yes,
important.
and we're not saying to
100%.
Jump off that, but
should I have my nerve system checked? Because all the changes that we're talking about are measurable. They're quantifiable.
Yeah.
So we can use the technology in our office to say, what is the signal from brain to muscle? If they're too tight on one side, how tight are they? And can we clear it?
Yeah.
So we do before and after measurements to say, are we getting the job done or not?
Right.
And then along the way, that person is allowed to connect the dots better.
Yes.
When I'm in alignment, here's how I feel. When I'm out of alignment, I feel that. When I'm in alignment, here's my sleep pattern or my digestive pattern or my menstrual pattern or my bathroom pattern.
Yeah.
They're all connected to the same brain.
Right.
But when it's stuck in fight or flight, any or all of those things is going to change. You don't have to ask them to, they just do it.
Yeah. That's something else that I just have always loved about what you do here too, is that you guys collect the dots with the technology that you have, and then you connect the dots for the patient and for the team to take care of this patient. And then you correct the dots. Like it's all three things. You take everything into consideration.
Here's where he is. Here's where he should be. Are we there yet?
Right.
All of which is mostly quantifiable.
Right.
Emotional things are not as quantifiable.
I know, they're really not.
And so, but I feel happier. Yes. Or my husband isn't such a jerk. Or my work isn't
I'm not
so
annoyed
stressful,
anymore.
right? And so, but your perception is based on chemistry, vision, sight, sound, taste, touch, smell, all that stuff. And it's just that when the brain is processing information without the obstruction of misalignment, and that's all it is, it's an obstruction of normal.
Right.
It's normal to be sad sometimes. If your dog runs away and you're not sad, something's weird about you. But they'll give you these drugs and they'll say, well, it's not normal to be sad.
Yeah.
Well, it's normal to be sad. It's normal to be happy. It's normal to be melancholy once in a while. It's normal.
It would
be. The question is it appropriate? If your dog dies and you're laughing, you're a weirdo. And that means that, again, your medicine is overriding whatever might otherwise be a stressful thing.
At some point, you have to address those emotions or they get stuck. We've talked about that
100%.
Before too. So would you consider I'm very much into micro things these days. I did small things. I did a training for Crunchy last night and I was talking about micro moments, throughout our lives. But would you consider what you do like a micro adjustment?
Oh, it's millimetric. Yeah. These bones don't shift inches at a time.
Yeah.
3/4 of 1 degree of misalignment between the skull and the neck starts changing the relay of information, which will change posture.
Teeny tiny.
So check your kids, check your spouse.
Yeah.
Take a minute
and
just stand naturally in your tall posture. Let your arms relax at your sides and just look in the mirror. Is one shoulder taller than the other? Is one hip taller than the other?
Yeah.
Does your jewelry hang to one side? Do your shoes wear out unevenly from left to right?
It's interesting. You've taught me that. Sometimes if we're following people in the airport, say, you can actually see how people's shoes like tilt in, and
the airport's a great place to
observe people. I know. So this is something that they need to come in here to have taken care of.
Well, you can check yourself. If you see distortion,
Yes, right.
then it's worth a phone call or a scheduled
But the
checkup.
correction part of it.
Oh, the correction is going to happen by somebody who does corrective care.
Right, exactly.
And that's important too. Not everybody does corrective care. Sometimes there are therapeutic management things that are very helpful.
Sure, absolutely.
But therapeutic things are not corrective things. Right? So if I need therapy, I go get therapy. We had Scott on here. He's worked with me and done some therapeutic wonderfulness. But if I don't keep myself checked and balanced, then his therapeutic things have much less benefit as well.
Right. It's true. You need to have a team, a wellness team.
It's smart.
Yeah. So some of the things that people can do is tap into micro rest. It's the new luxury where you don't have to have a 90-minute meditation. You don't have to go on expensive retreats. You don't have to take a master class on your nervous system, right?
Although we're going to do that, by the way, in March, at the end of March. I want to say the last Wednesday in March. We are going to do an upper cervical master class. We're going to talk about these things and do some demonstration type things. If people want in, you're welcome to join us.
Oh, that's fun. Yeah.
But for our people here in the practice, we're going to have a master class at the end of the month in March.
But for some people that are, before that time, before they pop in, they can focus on like 30-second resets. And those are micro practices, that they can do at home, something that's going to help to downshift and let the body know that it is safe.
And again, that goes back to that subconscious mind. What you tell yourself mentally, you can say it out loud, that just reinforces it. But what you tell yourself becomes much more real as well.
Yeah.
Like in a stressful situation, you have to decide, like, what you think is stressful might not stress me at all.
Right.
Right.
That's
true. Where self-talk matters.
We see that all the time.
And we hear ourselves saying things. We call ourselves stupid. I'm so stupid. This is funny on the golf course. You'll hear people do this all day long. They'll hit a bad shot and it ruins their day because they have absorbed this information that says I'm worthless or I'm useless or I'm not good at this or whatever. And then it just manifests in their behavior. So what you tell yourself matters. And the same thing with movies, right? If you watch a movie that makes you laugh and makes you joyful, the same subconscious mind absorbs that and uses it to your advantage.
Yeah.
So it works both ways. What scares the wits out of you is your subconscious mind. What brings you joy and gratitude and thankfulness and happy rhythm, watch a movie that makes you feel like that all day long.
Rom-coms, my favorite.
Whatever.
I know you don't like that
Whatever
so much.
it takes.
But
it works both ways is my point.
We used to make affirmation lists and daily go over that. Now we've shifted more into journaling and that type of thing, where I feel like there is some affirmation that's part of that.
Yes.
But also reading my Bible, just opening that up, or listening to my Bible app.
Uh-huh.
Not
My
on
Bible
AirPods.
app is a little Irish girl who's reading the scriptures. I love it. I could listen to her talk all day. She'll walk me through the valley of the shadow of death, and I'll feel good about it,
So just different things like that. Long exhales, twice as long as an inhale.
Okay.
Those are some things that can
Resets.
These are just resets. Yeah,
Yes.
Page 2. Are you on that one?
I'm there.
Okay, good.
I could ramble on about this for the next 2 hours.
Well, I know you
but we
could. I know. I'm trying. There's a lot of notes that I put down on here. So yeah, just making sure that the input that you're feeding yourself,
Yes,
emotionally,
music
is positive. Yes.
words of affirmation. Here's another thing that I think is kind of fun. One of the things I have been doing recently is I'll ask myself some questions in the morning.
Okay.
When I'm doing my journaling or writing, I'll say, what do I want to feel today? I want to feel joy. I want to feel appreciated. I want to feel loved. I'll remind myself, this is my intention for the day.
Yeah.
And then I'll let the people in the practice just show it to me.
Yeah.
It's kind of fun.
So not so much affirmations, but intentions.
Right.
I think that's maybe even more powerful.
You have to decide to take control of it. The other thing I've been doing is finding reasons to compliment somebody else.
Oh, yeah.
Because compliments, when I tell you that you're beautiful,
Yes.
and you are, but
Thanks,
when you hear it from somebody who's not you, it does change physiology. It changes your mindset. It changes your posture. It changes how you think about yourself.
Yeah.
So, I'm a good dad. I'm a good uncle. I'm a good manager of my finances.
But you say this to other people. Is that what you mean?
You got to start with yourself.
Yeah.
I can't change you before I change me. And reality is, you got to start from the inside out. Your thoughts matter. The things you say to yourself matters. And then consequently, you will start seeing that in other people. You will find the goodness in other people, even though you might not like it, but it's there.
No, I mean, I feel like that's something as a woman that it is easy for me to find the opportunity to share a compliment with somebody.
You're good at it.
Not necessarily, and not
See what I did there? You're good at it.
Not so much about. I try not to make it about their looks.
Okay.
Something else that I admire about them.
Yes.
And whether it's the way they share a story or tell a story or connect with other people or make other people feel loved.
I think people dramatically underestimate the power of their words. When
100%.
if you tell your kid they're a worthless bum, guess what? You're going to see a worthless bum before your very eyes.
Yes. Evolve.
But when you tell them they're brilliant and they're smart and they're capable, that's a different conversation.
Yeah. I love that.
And you catch them doing something right. You know what? I know you struggled with that test, but I know you tried as hard as you could. And for that,
that's
I'm
all
thankful.
that matters. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Some people are just not good test takers.
Right.
Having raised
Or
3
their
daughters.
lacrosse match or their kung fu competition or it's just really easy to kick yourself when you're down and to have somebody who can prop you up. And that's kind of the parent's job, I think. Our job is to prop them up and then help them understand that's how you turn into a responsible, healthy, happy grown-up.
So do you think that your nervous system speaks through sensation, not logic?
Logic doesn't really have, like I said, if you're sitting in the movies, you logically know that you're not in the explosion.
Exactly. But you still have that sensation.
But you still get the same response because it is neurologically rooted. It is physiologically rooted.
Yeah.
But it works both ways. Like I said, you just got to start learning some of that and using it to your advantage instead of to your disadvantage.
Right.
Can I talk myself out of a bad situation? The answer is very frequently yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I completely agree. One of the other things that's happening is digital fatigue, and we
call
talk
it doom scrolling for a reason.
doom scrolling for a reason, but on my training last night too, I talked about analog luxury. So we talked about micro resets as a little mini luxury, but also it's becoming more and more in vogue to disconnect. In fact, I went by, this was so funny just today, and it's probably because I'm tuned into this right now, but there was a yard sign that I drove past on my way back from brunch with Rachel, and it said, disconnect to connect. Disconnect to connect. Because meeting with people in person is so, real life experiences, meeting people in person is so much more important than what we see. We're not really friends with those people on Facebook. We're only really friends with them outside of Facebook or Instagram or wherever you are on socials. But it's really, it's fascinating to me to...
And again, back in 2020, when the lockdowns occurred. Part of the purpose of that was a psychological operation. Like, let's just see how people behave when we tell them they can't go here, there, or anywhere. And so isolation became the order of the day. And that facilitates fear. When you isolate people or animals or whatever, isolation is an easy fear generator because now I feel like I'm the only one in this situation and I am terrified. But if I knew you were terrified with me, suddenly we got this little, hey, I can help you if you can help me.
Exactly. Or just connecting. I mean, we're human beings that need to be with other human beings. God made us that way. He wired us that way.
Nothing random about it.
And so, disconnecting to connect. And it's just really so important. Some people think that, I'm just going to, jump on my socials before I go to bed. Like they're resting, but they're not really resting.
It's wiring your brain. The frequency of the light, the messages coming through, none of it is built for your benefit. All of it is built for selling product and or scaring the crap out of you.
So the constant input that just equals constant vigilance, which comes back to the nervous system again, because that fight or flight is just right there. So one of the ways that you can explore disconnecting is like, just have a tech-free morning, just for a couple of hours, even just a little bit. It doesn't have to be like, a lot of times people will go through a detox, especially right now. I have a lot of girls that talk about, for Lent, they give up their phones, their social media. They get off of all of that during that time. But you could just do like a Sabbath evening, a tech Sabbath evening.
100%. You got to start small. It doesn't have to be a big commitment. You don't have to leave it for a week or a month or a year. You just got to leave it periodically and do the discipline of, this is called self-care.
Exactly. And
it's saving my own life.
Yeah. Purification. I mean, we talk about purification programs for our livers and our kidneys, and we need to do that for our brains. And this is the way to do that.
Which means don't put earbuds in. By the way,
walk without the AirPods. Just walk.
They are just so poisonous. It's constant EMF input to the brain for one thing, and I don't care who says it isn't. It is. There's great technology and great research now that says that technology, the earbud itself, is being used to map the brain of the person. I mean, you're putting it right in your brain, and it is being used to map your thoughts.
Okay, but we're not gonna be part of the doom.
No, I'm just saying you need to understand it's part of the toxicity. It is part of what's keeping your brain in fight or flight.
So one of the other things that I was thinking about too was the wellness pendulum and optimization versus simplicity.
Okay.
So there's a season, we're still in this season where everything has to be tracked. With the wearable devices, everybody wants to know what their bodies are doing constantly. And we're starting to see like this quiet backlash for that, because it's almost like we're seeking performance metrics that keep us.
It can be an obsession.
An obsession. Yeah. There's a lot of people that are.
I'm not a fan of wearables. I'll just go on record as saying I am not a fan and won't probably ever do it.
Yeah. It's keeping us, I just don't know if it's helping us to regulate the way we think it is.
Right.
Because we're just seeing these metrics, and I don't know that a lot of people are changing what they're doing based on what it reads.
Part of the challenge is that data's going somewhere. Somebody's harvesting that information.
Okay.
If it's giving you, here's my blood glucose is this when I eat potato chips, and here's what happens to it at 3 a.m. So I think there's merit maybe in gathering a little bit of that information,
especially
for your
if you're
general
just
well-being.
maybe for a short
time. I don't think there's
gathering.
merit for an extended period of time.
Yeah. And we already know, just based on the, what was it? The heart sound recorder.
Sure.
That when people were wearing a smartwatch or something like that, their scores were plummeted. They took that off, took it outside the room, and that would normalize.
To
almost
assume it's not,
instantaneously.
to assume that it's not changing your physiology would be naive.
Yeah.
And again, that data is being collected.
Right. So mental fitness is not about more data.
Common sense will get you a really long way in this game.
But part of what's happening is just you feel like you have to, because we're on platforms that are making us feel like if we don't, we're behind.
Sure.
And that's not the case at all.
You know who's killing it in this arena? The Amish.
I know it.
They are way ahead of the race.
So mental fitness may not be more data, more routines, or more protocols, and it might be less input.
Yeah.
More rhythm, which we talk about too, predictable rituals, and repetition of all of those good things.
Common sense. I'm telling you, it's a big deal.
Don't you feel like that in the world we've lost common sense?
Yes, it has been discouraged. Yes, thinking for oneself and paying attention to your own physiology is not encouraged.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But yeah, a little. Which is better, an apple or a donut? Which is better, parking a little further away from the door, or driving around till you get the first place closest to the door? You know, I mean, this is not genius level thinking.
Yeah. Okay, let me ask you something. I know we were going to try to keep this to a.
I know we're already well beyond.
Well beyond. We're almost there. No, we're gonna save body code for another episode.
Yeah, I think that's smart.
But tell me, what do calm people do differently?
They listen.
Yeah.
Good listeners.
Yeah.
A lot of times what happens, I think, is like while you're talking, I'm not really listening. I'm formulating my response to what you're saying. Mm-hmm. And I don't mean me, but I mean we.
We, right.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so actually listening. And I always know when I'm listening because I'll repeat back to you what I heard you say.
Yeah.
And I do this all the time with people in the office.
Sure.
I'll tell them, here's what I found, here's what I think, here's what we're going to do about it. And then I'll have them give it back to me.
Okay, so you have them repeat it back to you to see if
what
they're
did
listening.
I just tell you?
Yeah.
Or here's a better way to say it. When you get home tonight, your spouse is going to ask you what happened here. What will you tell them? And so we rehearse it because I want you leaving here feeling smarter than you walked in.
Yeah.
This is one of the smartest things you could do for your health is getting a spinal checkup. So I want to hear you tell me what you've learned on some level. It doesn't have to be perfect.
So do you feel like then calmer people have nervous systems that recover faster?
There's no way they couldn't.
Yeah.
They would have to be that. But that's a proper regulation between sympathetic dominance and parasympathetic regulation.
Yeah. So calmer people might protect their mornings and their time.
Being protective of your time is a must.
Eat in ways that stabilize their energy.
Are you just loading these in like softballs I can hit them?
I know.
No,
that
I want you to eat trashy food and stay up too late and hang around people that don't love you.
I'm just saying calm people tend to do these things.
Sure.
You know, they are going to leave space in between things.
Right.
You know, they're not going to try to go.
Well, there's a difference between being
calm.
busy and being productive.
Yes,
right?
exactly.
We've been led to believe that busyness and production are the same thing, and they are not.
Yeah. Feeling free to say no without over-explaining why you said no to something.
If you're saying yes to everything, you're already out of control.
Limit unnecessary input. That's another way that people can stay calmer.
So quiet time, preferably quiet time in the woods. I love that. Just let the trees talk to you.
Yeah, it's funny.
Watch the clouds go by.
I know I keep referencing this training, but I was talking about how, you know, you can take a nature walk, and I'm like, yeah, but I don't do that. No, you can, but I don't.
Right.
Well, it's not my funnest thing. Bugs and dirt. Yeah. The mosquitoes, they love me so much. And go to bed before you're exhausted. I think that helps somebody be calm.
And we've talked about that before. I think sleep is probably the most underrated portion of managing your well-being.
Yeah.
We think we got to stay up until it's done, and we got to stay up, and then we got to stay up more.
Yeah.
And then we got to get up early because,
Right. Because you got to go.
The early bird is one that gets the worm.
But really just returning, like you said, common sense, simple rituals when life feels loud.
Cook your own food.
Do the laundry.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite things to do when I'm really stressed out is do the laundry. Aren't you glad about that?
100%. But you know what I do if you can't get to it?
You do it.
I do it myself.
Yeah. But there is something so therapeutic when I'm folding laundry.
Yeah.
It's just, or washing dishes. I find the same thing.
Two of my favorite things to not do.
So those things don't eliminate your stress, but they help you recover better.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Small thing, because you have control over
it
them.
shortens
You
the
get
stress
to take
cycle.
control. So much of what we've talked about means I'm out of control. I can't control what goes on in the Middle East. I can't control what the president thinks, says, or does. I can't control a million things.
Right.
But I can fold my laundry. That's a small victory.
Yeah.
I can make sure the kitchen's clean. I can make sure the garage is orderly. I can make sure my car has gas. There's a few things you can control. Control those things.
Yeah. For those people that have gas cars. For me, I can just plug my little baby in. Okay.
Until you can't.
So, until you can't get gas
Until you
either.
gotta have some guy drag it out of the garage, back end up.
I've had this car for 5 years.
Next.
Okay, but I've had it for 5 years, and I've only had to have service on it that one time.
Yeah, I get it.
In 5 years. That's pretty amazing.
Yep.
So there's a whole nother page and a half about the emotional layer.
Okay.
That I feel like needs an episode of its own rather than just hacking it
Maybe
on
next
the
time.
end. Yeah, so we'll cover that in the next episode.
And I know we got a couple of guests lined up too.
We do, yeah. And if you guys have other people that you'd like for us to reach out to, we are happy to do that as well.
Absolutely. Otherwise, you just get to hear us blather on. Let's bring on a guest once in a while.
I know, it's fun. Actually, I've had a couple people reach out, and so I'm excited to.
I had a couple in the office today as well.
That's perfect. But yeah, I really want to help people understand the benefits of what Body Code can do for them.
Okay.
Because it's the least stressful type of therapy.
It's the most conservative intervention for your emotional stability.
Exactly. I mean, it was incredibly powerful for me yesterday. I was actually
Don't give it away.
Well,
it's next episode.
But I had lots of despair anchors, even to the point where I was telling myself that I was worthless. And I mean,
ask me. Anytime you're in that mode, you ask me.
Yeah, but I was already annoyed with you. So it took care of the annoyance part.
Okay.
And no, I wouldn't have asked you that then. I would have been like, I'm too annoyed to talk to him right now.
Yeah.
So we'll finish up some mental fitness stuff next week, because I think that it's more important than ever.
Do we have anybody comment blah blah blah?
I need to go look.
Yeah, we got to check that out, because everybody that did.
I know. Yeah, I've been gathering up some things.
The car's not going to give itself away.
He's kidding. There's no cars being given away. I always feel like I have to monitor your comments, babe.
All right, good job.
Okay, yeah.
Any other things you want to cover that aren't body code?
No, not for right now. But
We'll
do you feel like? I feel like that was a really good explanation about how physically what you do can help somebody with their mental fitness.
Well, the reality is, if you're curious, just get checked.
Yeah.
You may not need chiropractic care. You may not need upper cervical address. But if you're not checked, you don't know.
And if you're not local, there are ways.
We'll find you somebody in your neighborhood.
Close to you.
100%.
There's only a very small percent of chiropractors that do what you do, though. About 1%.
Oh, I don't even know. There's
Not
a
even 1%?
lot of upper cervically focused people that do great work. It doesn't have to be what I do.
Okay, but still only
Measurable,
about.
predictable, reproducible. That's what you're looking for.
Okay, yeah. So just a small percent. So please reach out if you'd like more information on that. We are happy to share, because the more regulated each one of us are individually, collectively, it's even more powerful.
You take 5 people in your town and get them straightened out, and suddenly your town's a better place to live.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's part of what I think I was talking about. Surround yourself with people that are bringing positivity into your life.
And doing their fair share to make it a better place.
Yeah. All right, 100%. You guys, like, subscribe, comment, and follow. I think I got them all. I think I always do them in a different order, accidentally.
Perfectly acceptable.
All right.
See you
guys,
next time.
Talk to you later. Bye.
Did she say blah, blah, blah? That's awesome.
Good. Okay. I think she's the winner.
Yeah.
Cindy Orf. Woo! Good. I love that. That's fantastic.